putting a wife to work is a very dangerous thing.
Yeah, 1 in 3, 1 in 4, 1 in 5 women are going to get sexually assaulted on campus, which is just nonsense. Whether it's the wage gap, which is nonsense.
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the you can do anything.
It doesn't matter what party you belong to, Democrat, Republican, Independent, no woman deserves to be treated this way. None of us deserves this kind of abuse.
It means that a wife is equal to her husband, a sister to her brother. Not better, not worse. They are equal.
When at 18, my male friends were unable to express their feelings, I decided that I was a feminist.
For a long time, women were treated as unequal. They were expected to stay at home, take care of their children, and follow the general guidelines of what was considered to be a good wife. One day in 1848, a group of women led by Lucretia Mott and Elizabeth Cady Stanton held the first Women's Rights Convention, otherwise known as the Seneca Falls Convention. This convention led the suffrage movement to gain a lot of fame, and eventually several organizations were created to advocate for women's rights. This can lead us to the following question. To what extent have peaceful protests related to women's suffrage movements influenced women's rights throughout history? The two main organizations during the 1900s were the National American Women's Suffrage Association and the National Women's Party. Together, through different methods of peaceful protesting, they were able to pass the 19th Amendment in the Constitution. In present day, women have become more respected and integrated members of society. However, there is still a lot of inequality and discrimination targeted towards women. All around the world, they suffer from unequal wages and are sexualized constantly. An extremely important ideology that exists now is called feminism, which promotes the political, social, and economic equality between sexes. While there is a lot more acceptance than there was before, some people do not regard women as equal to men, President Trump being one of the most notorious. Really? Yes. I mean, let's take a look at what the public thought about this in the 1900s. I am opposed to the granting of suffrage to women because I believe that it would be a loss to women, to all women, and to every woman, and because I believe it would be an injury to the state and to every man and every woman in the state. Really, Lyru? Really? Clearly this upset women as they were not being taken seriously. Before we start talking about different ways they fought for their rights, it is important to define what suffrage is. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, suffrage is defined as the right of voting. So let's look at how these dope individuals and how they changed the history of women forever. According to the Library of Congress, some of the main ways women protested were parades and picketing. Parades are still held today because people from all kinds of social classes participated. As they paraded down the streets, they had to walk with dignity and convey a serious, respectable demeanor compatible with that of a responsible voter. Picketing was the most famous way women fought for equality, and it consisted of them standing outside buildings, mainly the White House, with banners that advertised their ideas. At first, the crowd did not really react towards them, but eventually they became violent and aggressive, while the police did nothing to stop them. There have been several occasions in which women were arrested for picketing. With this amendment to the Constitution, the Congress granted women the right to vote. It is remarkable how they were able to achieve this only using nonviolent protests. On January 21st, 2017, right after the presidential inauguration, thousands of women marched down Washington, D.C. and all over the world to protest the new president's ideology and attitude towards women. One family even said, "I just can't look at Trump and look at my daughter and think anything he is saying or is doing is right." Instead of using violence, they were motivated and inspired by using passive methods, since they were highly persuasive and televised by expressing their feelings to the public. Emma Watson, the UN Women Goodwill Ambassador, gave a speech at the UN conference which persuaded people to end gender inequality. One quote of her speech that stands out is, "If we do nothing, it will take 75 years or nearly 100 before women can be expected to be paid at the same as men for the same work."
The reality is that if we do nothing, it will take 75 years, or for me to be nearly 100, before women can expect to be paid the same as men for the same work.
Up until today, peaceful protests have been essential to the movement and have helped women achieve a certain degree of equality and express their feelings about these issues. Not only have parades, picketing, and demonstrations influenced women, but also the people around them. So far, women have earned their voting rights, and hopefully by continuing using nonviolent tactics, they will achieve equal pay. Yeah, that's the last time I'm doing it. I'm not doing it again.